grind and the camaraderie of the team. I think just the combination of the two, like just how much you guys are together and going through like practices and stuff, that's what builds your bonds with your teammates and stuff. So I mean, it's kind of like a mutual respect thing too. It's like what you guys are going through, you're going through the same stuff together. Those long practices and long periods of practice intervals, and then 50-game season in baseball. There's not enough people for intramural sport. Either are playing like high competition, you're not really going to play. I think the demand of especially all the practices and the length of practices and stuff, some coaches just don't understand that too much is too much. And I think you got to find a good balance where like giving players the right direction to go and like just being there for them, guiding them to that. This is our generation too. Like, we like to know why, to know like what the results could be and what the path is to get there. If coaches and parents can kind of just give them that opportunity and be like, this is what it is, take what you want, take where you want to go with it.
What you went through just with that specific injury, that perseverance, what that taught you now for outside of life.
You just have to understand that just translates directly to everything else. Like you have no idea what's going to come. You just have to attack every single day, like in a straight line, and just take one step at a time and just understand whatever crosses your path. You just got to be confident and know that you're going to get through it.
Welcome in everybody to another episode of Fighting for Overtime. I am Coach Tony. As always, make sure you're following on all social formats, but most importantly, get that podcast wherever it is available. Tonight, got a great guest. As always, another local kid from the area who's come up through the ranks from T-ball to collegiate ball. His dad was a local coach. He's played for his dad. He's played for school. He just got done college. Now he's pursuing the American dream. DJ Dickson, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. How you doing? It's a pleasure getting me on here.
Oh man, it's been like been a while. Me and your dad would go back and forth. Like, when are we gonna get him on there? You've been so damn busy, man. So we're gonna get into that later too. But tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your background, where you started, where you played ball at, and so where you are right now.
Yeah, I just grew up right around the corner in Southampton. I went to Tenet. I played multiple sports for the township growing up: basketball, football, and baseball, of course, and soccer. And just graduated from UVA Wise playing baseball.
I didn't know you played soccer.
I did.
I had no idea.
Way back in the day. That was
that was early years, huh?
Yeah, but that didn't work out exactly.
Listen, man, we all find our way later on in life, right? But listen, local, you just said it. I know your dad personally, great friend of mine, and I know he coached you. I know he's also coached a lot of kids in the area. I coached my kids too. Coming with that pressure, stress, motivation, awkwardness, having your dad as a coach, not only for you, but also probably your friends, probably kids you went to school with. What kind of dynamic did that possess when it comes to like pressure, motivation, and kind of both?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a back and forth thing. Like, I think like he was definitely the right person to coach, and like me being like I was good enough to play and stuff. So like it was, even though we had our arguments and stuff, like we both had to like figure it out kind of. And yeah, I think with my friends too, like it was kind of weird. Like if things weren't going well, like I can feel like the pressure between us sometimes too. And it was like, we kind of just had to figure it out a little bit, you know?
I think that's what a lot of people underrate when, you're the son of a coach. It's not just the whole daddy ball perspective, but it's your friend. Maybe your dad had to make decisions to cut some of your friends. Maybe your dad had to make a decision to play, or maybe I know for a fact he's probably lost friends, right? I know you probably lost friends. How do you just, as it's in the back of your mind when you deal with those situations, how do you finally just say, I just have to go forward and say, I can't worry about that and that'll take care of itself?
Yeah, like you're right. Like he coached football like well before I was born for several years at LaSalle High School. And I think he did coach baseball as well, like locally too. And then obviously once I came to the picture, like, I started playing T-ball and stuff. And eventually like him being a coach, like he sees things that he doesn't exactly like. And like, not just one to help me, like put me in the right position too, but he knows that he can kind of like be the guy for that.
Yeah, so, he's very strong-willed, very opinionated. He's just like myself, but he's that kind of guy that I would say you probably needed to keep pushing you in the right direction.
Yeah, 100%. Especially me being like, I was definitely super stubborn. I am a little bit now. So
we all are, man. We all are.
We still butt heads about baseball conversations today, but yeah, like you said, I kind of just had to put my head down and like maybe we would talk about something, and then like, eventually I go and think about it later. Like, all right, well, maybe that is a different perspective of how I'm looking at something. So absolutely.
Now, as you continued on your career, all different levels, every athlete faces adversity, whether you're playing school ball, rec ball, travel ball, collegiate ball, high school ball, it doesn't matter. What would you say were some of the toughest moments for you coming up through your baseball journey?
Yeah, I think just the ups and downs of different pressures that I've had. Like I think like I wasn't exactly like something that coaches would go and see and be like, all right, well, that's like flat out talent. Like I think my community and like the people around me knew that I had potential in baseball, but like I kind of just had to eventually put some pieces together by listening to my coaches a little bit more. And once I did that, I think I started to see that success in my freshman year of college.
So it was all about the grind for you. You constantly had to, polish your skills. You weren't
Yeah.
like you're basically self-made, I would say, right?
A little bit, yeah. Like I think I definitely had the bat to ball skills when I was younger. Like I was definitely one of the better hitters, but like I wasn't like a clear cut like D1 athlete or anything like that. Like I didn't like jump off the radar as coach and scout.
That's important because there's a lot of kids, a lot of people that listen to this, and they all chase the D1 dream, which is fine, right? Listen, man, that's fine, but I think sometimes when they hear a story like yourself, and they hear other people, like I had Noelle on here with her story, and it was like it opened up people's eyes a little bit. Like it's not always cut and dry. Like it's not always like this is my path. This is where I'm going. No, there's going to be, it's a roller coaster ride, especially at a young age. I mean, you're 16, 17, 18, a lot going on emotionally with that.
Yeah, that was the time. That's right. What you said just there. 16, 17,
Yep.
like those were the ages where it was like, all right, do I really want this or not? Because that was like junior and senior year of high school. Like, like there's a lot going on in school. Like you're hanging out with friends and stuff. And it's like, all right, well, especially for me, like I'm not in COVID too. Like that's the whole.
That's a good point. You were right in those COVID years.
Yeah, that was really tough.
Were you in college or during COVID?
Junior year of high school.
A junior year of high school. So that's when everything shut down.
Yeah, so that was like a big recruiting year for me too. So who knows? But
oh wow, that's interesting, and people don't realize that, man. That's for you guys and girls that were in that COVID area, the recruit, everything just stopped. The world stopped. And you guys basically lost a year, right?
Yeah. Quite literally just lost that junior year.
Wow. Another thing I want to touch on, and when we're talking about adversity, again, we're talking to DJ Dickson here. I know you had a back injury. I know me and your dad were talking. You said you were really battling through it. And whether it's a back, it's a knee, it's an ankle, unfortunately, that's probably the most adversity you're ever going to face. Can I ever get back to form? Walk us kind of through the mental journey with that. And obviously, physically is tough enough, but just to say, were there times you thought you'd never play again? Were there times you thought like, man, this is never going to heal the way? Like, what was going on through that whole process?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it started freshman year. Once like everything started going well, like that was kind of my year where baseball wise, like we talked about the grind. That was the year where everything just kind of clicked. Pretty much everything went right as that could have gone right. And like right after that I felt really good going into the summertime. I'm playing, working a little bit. I'm playing just a local summer league and, lifting weights and stuff. And all of a sudden, like halfway through the summer, just swinging a bat, like eventually like something popped or like it didn't feel like,
you knew something ain't right.
I knew something wasn't right. I kept pushing through it for a while, but I think like especially the injury itself was a stress reaction. So that's just something that just kept building. And like, I felt something not right. I'm like, all right, well, I'll take it easy in the weight room for a little bit. And that was the other thing. I felt it like squatting and deadlifting too. So I just cut those out for a while, kept trying to play. I go into the fall time and just start hitting, going through our typical like practices and stuff. And I'm just like, this is hurting so bad. Like especially like I wanted to keep going.
I was just going to say that
after like a good season, I'm like, I want to practice. And
yep.
But I just told my coach, like, this is not feeling good. Like I got to step out for a second. So
that's important. That's tough. And so, and how did, and I know you have, and I will say this because I know they're going to listen, and I love it because you have one of the biggest internal family support systems that I know, man. Like I watch most of your highlights from your grandmom and your mom. Like I can hear her yelling in the background. Like it's fantastic. So knowing that, how did your family and even maybe your friends, community, how'd they help you through that process? Because I know that they knew you were hurting.
I think just having each other, just like how close we are, just, the time we spend together, just doing anything, just, having like football Sundays or sports Sundays and stuff. We're all together a lot. Like, that's what my dad always preached. So like just having that was just the biggest thing for me. I think just them being there, not really one, like I don't need to hear like too much sympathy. It's just about like, just keep being yourself. Like, we got to keep
sometimes like your answer is great because I think about that. Sometimes it's just the people around you getting your mind off of what's really going on.
100%.
Right. It's like, hey, we're together. We're just watching a game or we're just hanging out. Like it's so, because sometimes you don't want to hear that, DJ, how's your back? What's going on? It's like, but listen, man, like I'm killing myself to get through this. It's like, it's an indirect feeling. You really don't want to hear that. Now, would you say like through all that, what would you say, about life outside the game? What's that taught you now? All that, what you went through just with that specific injury, that perseverance, what that taught you now for outside of life?
Yeah. I mean, like that, you just have to understand that just translates directly to everything else. Like you have no idea what's going to come in the future. So it's like, you just have to attack every single day, like in a straight line, and just take one step at a time and just understand whatever crosses your path. You just got to be confident and know that you're going to get through it, I think.
I like that. No, it's true, man. You got to go right ahead, and you did go right ahead. You played college ball at UVA Wise, getting recruited. I had a great interview with Mackenzie, who from Scout U, and she was explaining to me about the recruiting process and how it works. Right. So what about your journey to UVA Wise? What was the recruiting process like for you? What did that consist of?
Yeah, I mean, I had a great travel coach growing up. That program was very unique and wasn't like the others where he stressed like it's not about the plastic trophy kind of deal.
Love it.
It's all about development. So I was very lucky to have that. And that coach actually coached my college coach, Coach Costa.
Really?
When he was younger. He's an older guy now, but
wow. What's the odds of that?
Right. Exactly. So basically Coach Khan's guys, like if you were in this program for a while, like he loves those guys like coming back, and Coach Costa would come to the facility every now and then, and that's how I met him. And if I see that Coach Costa had like the same like standards and beliefs about like the development and just the camaraderie of the team and stuff, the same values basically, I knew that Coach Costa was the right decision for me.
It's pretty ironic because when I had, and Noelle, I had her on the program, and she was talking about one of her AAU coaches. And when she talked about her AAU coach, the AAU coach had something in common with the Wood coach, and the Wood coach had something in common with it's so amazing that these coaches, it's like a carousel. It's like you're on the right path because you're following that program, you're following those fundamentals. And I think it was a Con, right? So I don't even play. I didn't play baseball, but I knew he was awesome because I would rent out his facility for soccer, and just me and him hit it off. He gave the kids a tour of the locker room. It was the Angels, right? Was the team that hit right? So, but he was just such a personable guy, and I was like, this guy, you could tell is a great coach. He didn't coach me, but I could just tell right there he was a great coach.
100%. It wasn't even just about baseball. Obviously, he knew about baseball, and he got the right guys to teach baseball, but he would just talk about life and teach us how to just be better people every day. And I knew like
it's important.
That's what it really should be, honestly. And it's just changed so much from
now. Was there a moment where you thought trying to get to the collegiate level that maybe this isn't going to work out for me?
I I've hit some roadblocks, I would say, kind of around those years in
Okay.
junior and senior year of high school.
Okay.
Um, I just wasn't performing well. Honestly, I just kind of hit a wall where, I mean, Coach Khan, like being a great guy, and he was still tough on you. Like he pushed, especially,
Yep.
and he was kind of individualized with that, but he like saw that in me where I could, I think, handle that. So he pushed me, and it was like, all right, well, this just isn't clicking right now. But all of a sudden, like it just started clicking a lot more for me. I'm just like, I was able to just sit back and understand what he was saying better.
Coach means everything, man.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. Coaching is important. It really, really, really is. What would you say one thing about college baseball that you wish high school athletes knew before going into it?
There's a lot of things.
There is. Like, what?
For
Maybe
sure.
like one thing that sticks out to you. If somebody's listening right now, you have that junior or high school kid, and they're getting ready to go to that next level. What's the one thing that stuck out to you?
It's the grind and the camaraderie of the team. I think just the combination of the two, like it's just how much you guys are together and going through like practices and stuff. That's what builds your bonds with your teammates and stuff. So, I mean, it's kind of like a mutual respect thing too. It's like what you guys are going through, you're going through the same stuff together, because those long practices and those long periods of practice intervals, and then a 50-game season in baseball and every sport, honestly. But
it's a family, man. It's I mean, look at we talk about the professional level, right? You talk about the Phillies right now, how the culture of that clubhouse, everybody gets together. Everybody, it's like a family atmosphere. And that's huge, man. When you like who you play with, that's huge, man. Like if you don't like who you play with, something's going to happen. Let's be honest. And when, especially when you're a 17, 18-year-old kid really trying to find your way, it's really important that you feel very comfortable. So I like that. That's been an answer from a lot of people. And I think camaraderie is very important. 100%, man. Now, after college, right? The transition. You go and you play. This was your last year, and I think this was like your best year, right? Your last year.
It was decent. I still think my freshman year might have been my best year.
Really? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think my development right now is kind of hit like that. Kind of like I talked about how it's not a straight line. I've worked on some things. I've gained some more power, and I think now I still had a decent year, I think, but I'm hoping I can piece everything together, kind of transitioning into pro ball.
Now that you transition from collegiate sports, it's all wrapped up. What's it like for you, man? Like, what was that transition? I know it's still early, but what was it like? Like, I'm home. I got no more college ball.
Yeah, it's a lot different, especially now. Like, this would be like the time I would be going back to school and stuff. It's like now I need to actually find like routines and stuff throughout the day that's not structured for me. Like going to school, you have class and stuff, practice. It's like bang, bang, bang. You have no free time, and now it's like, you have to kind of have to figure out like your actual future plans now. So
yeah, I mean, listen, you got to be an adult, right?
exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's like now a lot of athletes struggle with what's next after playing. How you handle that shift? Because I know you're kind of starting your own thing a little bit now, right? And we're gonna get into that a little later, but like how just talk about the shift, kind of saying, oh, like you just said, normally right now you'd be going back to school.
Yeah.
So your mindset now is like, okay, what do I do now? Right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, now you're still pursuing your baseball dream, right? You want to play at the pro level at some point, correct? So what drives you to keep going?
I think just it's your own personal vision. I think, like, especially at this point, like I don't have a particular coach right now. That's the thing. Like, it's all about how much you want it now. So it's obviously I have my dad. That's another story.
Right. Shout out Dave.
Oh yeah.
Coach Dave.
Yeah. Obviously having him too, like he's a big believer in me, which is nice, but still it's like, I'm home. I got to figure out my own routines and stuff. And it's really just seeing that vision. Like I've had people around me and past coaches that still push me and believe in me as well. But it is ultimately up to me to figure that out.
That's a huge statement. I mean, you think about it, people out there going, okay, not even thinking like once you get out of the collegiate atmosphere and you're on your own, there is no coaches. I mean, and you're lucky enough to have your dad. Not everybody has that figure, right? Not everybody, they're on their own. And that's when they probably may get lost or they go down a dark hole, right? So that's very important. Now, I want to shift to obviously the reason why I started this podcast too is, to talk about the anxiety and achievements in youth sports. And youth sports is changed dramatically. And you've seen it, you've gone through it, you see it now. What would you say, since you were a kid, what differences do you see compared to back then?
Yeah, even just around here, like just going around the community and stuff. I know I mean, my age group and the people around, like I think we had a really athletic class and like our ages, even just around us. Just going, I feel like it's just, there's not as many kids anymore either. And I feel like the part of that is like, there's not enough people for like intramural sports and stuff. It's all just like,
Yep.
either are playing like high competition, you're not really going to play. It's like, there's not really as many opportunities for that. And it's disappointing a little bit because that's where
where the next level comes from.
Yeah.
Right.
You build love for the game.
Yep. No, I love that. You build love for the game. Now, do you think kids today face more pressure in sports than your generation did?
Yeah, I believe so. It's possible. And I just think, I think they might not have that right direction either. Like they almost don't know exactly where to start, or, it could be a culmination of things.
Now, with that pressure comes that big word, burnout. Burnout is, I watched it. I'm sure you've seen it. Anybody through your path, whether you were close with friends of yours, players on your team, maybe even yourself, get to that point where you felt so burnout to say, I don't know if I can continue to do this anymore. I'm going 6-7 days a week. I don't have any time for myself. I know I want to chase this dream, but my body's just shutting down.
Yeah, definitely. That's like, I think the demand of especially all the practices and the length of practices and stuff, it's like some coaches just don't understand that too much is too much. And it's like, I think you got to find a good balance where like your ultimate goal for that is like giving players the right direction to go and like just being there for them and guiding them to that. That's having a program and, but I've definitely seen that where, not going to name drop, of course, but there's people. Yep. I've definitely seen that where I've seen potential everywhere. Like there's so many kids that could have been something great, and it's just like they just couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it anymore.
It's a shame, and I think you nailed it by saying you have to have a structure. You have to have a program. Like you have to know. And you mentioned about Coach Khan. You mentioned about your dad. The good coaches understand that. The good coaches know we want to get to that level, but there's a point. Like there's a point to where, okay, we need them to be kids too at the same time, right? And I think that's so important. Everybody's chasing those trophies and chasing those scholarships, and they're so hard. Like, that's the thing. Thinking about how I think it's like 1.3% get a D1 scholarship. Yeah. Hey, think about that. Those numbers that's very minimal, right? Especially in a little town like we're in, right? Yeah. So, and everybody thinks their kid's going to be the next, and I really think they're doing their kid a disservice because some of them are getting pushed and they're not even ready for that.
Exactly. Yeah. I think kind of like I was saying, like you have to give them that direction. First of all, bring back your intramural sports and just let them have fun again.
Yes.
Just let the kids play and just enjoy it, be with their friends and teammates. But it's just about, I think, guiding them into the right direction, showing them this is our generation too. Like we like to know why. We like to know like what the results could be and what the path is to get there. It's like if coaches and parents can kind of just give them that opportunity and be like, this is what it is. Take what you want, take where you want to go with it.
And I think I think that makes total sense because one of the things I've always said is being transparent about the process, letting your kids understand there's levels to this. Understand like, oh, okay, you want to go pro? Okay, this is the path. This is what it's going to be like. These are and it's just with this podcast too. And I've said this, we're not going to change youth sports. However, if we have a parent that's their son or daughter's 8 years old and they're listening to us and going, okay, now I know what to look for. Now I'm not going to change what happens, but now I see some signs I can be mentally prepared for what's going to happen. And I think a lot of that's too hidden, man. A lot of that's too. I'd rather everybody just be upfront and personal about it, because then I think we would be in a better place. I really do.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And I think we can just I think it's just about educating people, just explaining
Yes.
to them like what it is. Yeah, exactly. If we can do that better, then that's kind of the start, I think.
Now, we talked about transitioning, and one thing we tease, and we'll talk about that a little bit now because we are in the youth sports segment here. And you started your own hitting clinic, and now you're going to be working. You're already working with kids. You're going to be working with kids of all ages. What kind of inspired you to do that?
Of course, just like having great coaches that I did, of course, and growing up in a house with a coach too. I think also it's kind of personal too, like as well, like my going through my experiences. Like sometimes I wish, not that I wish, of course, I wish that I could have had the resources that I do now, but I think it's kind of, especially with the adversities I've gone through and the stuff I've learned along the way. I think like I just want to be able to share that with people. I think I can like give that service to people.
It's kind of like you kind of answered your own question from earlier, because you talked about you wish there was more people that that coming down the tree to give back, and here you are right here, and you're doing that yourself. Now, what age, like, is there any ages that you're working with right now?
Yeah, there's a few kids right now. It's a long-term process.
Okay.
I'm starting been doing a lot of homework on it myself, just like creating a program and stuff. But anybody that's willing, of course, I'm open to anything right now. But there's a few kids 10 through 14 years old.
Okay.
I believe I can work with pretty much any age group right now. And yeah, I think I can help anybody, but it's the long-term process.
Now, when you're working with them from a physical standpoint, are you giving them any kind of coaching philosophies as well?
Yeah,
Because I think that's huge.
yeah, absolutely. It's my philosophies are I do give them like a mental approach at the plate and stuff. Right now it's hitting specifically.
Yep.
So of course there's some mechanical sides, like the programming side. I don't really talk about too much because I just want them to do it. I want them to do the drills because that's ultimately what's going to shape them skill wise. But I keep the mental side separate because I want them to be thinking about like certain things when they're at the plate. I'm not thinking about, where's my leg kick and where's my hand set up. Like you don't have time to think about that.
But the mental approach is, I think, a part that's missed nowadays. Everybody's so worried about the flashy home runs and the big hits, but they're not talking about the mental approach with guys like a Greg Maddox who came out like pitching to the corners, pitching the black parts of the plate, understanding that tailing fastball, understanding on a 2-1 count, what are you really going to get? So you're talking about like a hitting approach, actually giving them that mental stability, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And it gives them cues like to keep themselves like focused on like the right things to think about.
I love it, man. I love it. Again, we're talking to DJ Dickson. You have a Instagram page for your hitting too, right? What is that? At DJ hitting _
DJ Dickson hitting.
And that for people listening, that will be in the description. Make sure you go give that a follow and find out what he's doing, because he is doing God's work, man. Seriously, like and I say it all the time, when people do that kind of thing, you're giving back. You're giving back to the community that supported you. You're giving back. And I'm sure the cool part is you're probably going to work with kids who are kids from other kids that maybe you play with in that family.
Yeah.
Which is right. It's going to be pretty crazy.
For sure.
I love it. Let's, before we close with some other thoughts, let's have a little fun, man, because you are a hitting guy. You are a baseball guy. And I did this with Noelle. We talked about, because she was basketball. Players that you watched growing up that allowed you to fall in love with baseball? Who were they?
I mean, I grew up around the 2008 Phillies. How could I not love like the Ryan Howards, Chase Utleys, and Jimmy Rollins? Of course. I mean, growing up around this area, that was
what a time that was.
Watching that just made me fall in love with the game.
Listen, I say it all the time. I don't think Ryan Howard gets the just due he deserves. I think a lot of people just look past that. I did the stats and I forget them off the top of my head, but that 4-year period that he had, I think it was 06, 07, 08, 09. Literally, I don't think will ever be replicated. Like the amount of home runs, RBIs, he was must-see TV.
besides Barry Bonds, I think those 3 years were some of the most dominant years of baseball ever.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable. 150 home runs, 3 years or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think it was actually 172.
That's incredible.
And again, if you remember, that was at a time where you got King Albert, you got Albert Pujols, and they were battling. Remember, for all-star spots, they both played first base, right? So yeah. Now, if you were playing in Major League Baseball today, so let's say, man, you get to that point. What's one player you would love to play with on the team? Any player.
Love to play with, like
yeah. Like who you say I would love to be in a dugout with this guy and play with him?
Francisco Lindor. I think he's one of the coolest. Like, I think just his mentality in the game, he's just so like complacent, and he's just the way he goes about his business is awesome. Like, he's just a great dugout.
I love Francisco Lindor, and
I hate bringing up the Mets.
I know we're not supposed to love it, right? But I followed him when he was in Minnesota, and I know he got a lot of flack when he signed that big money deal. But I kept telling people, listen, man, this dude is a stud. Like, he could play a couple. He's short, obviously, but he could still play second, right? He's a phenomenal hitter. He's very smart. This guy gets it. Like, it's pretty cool that you said that, because he's one of my favorite players.
He is. He's awesome.
I love Francisco Lindor.
Shout out to Kyle Schwarber as well too. I mean, that's just to be a Philly fan. Like, that's the dugout guy on the Phillies. Great personality. Great person. He
is. I mean, you go back 20 minutes ago when we were talking about camaraderie and culture. He's that guy. He's that dude. Right? He's like 2008 Chase Utley. Right?
He's the epitome.
Right? It's like, that's who you want your kid to watch. Like, watch what he does. Listen to what his approach. And I don't think people even give him his just due to the fact that if you look, I think he lost like 25 pounds. He worked his ass off. People don't do that at 32 and 33. They kind of shut down. Like, all right, I got a couple years left. I'm good. This dude went all in, and he's going to get paid too.
He better. The Phillies better pay.
That's going to be tough.
And you're right, because like the results came to show this year. He's having an MVP season. So,
oh man, now he is absolutely amazing, man. He really is. Now, looking back on your career, man, so far, I mean, we spanned T-ball, little league, we had high school ball, collegiate ball. What are you most proud of?
That I think just our senior year of college, I think I'm most proud of, because I kind of came into a program where it was rebuilding. We were in a new we were in the top conference of D2, transitioning into that. And finally, like, having that senior year, I kind of saw like the full circle of the program, like actually have a winning season, make it to the playoffs. And we got knocked out by a missed home run call, by the way, too. But we basically were the number 3 team in the country, because that's what that team ended up doing.
Wow. That's amazing.
In my eyes. All
right. Hey, man.
We'll say that.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you could give advice to a high school athlete right now who's battling any kind of adversity, or even saying to himself, I don't know if I'm good enough to get to the next step, or maybe it's somebody who says, I want to just get to that next step, what advice would you give them?
Stop worrying about something 2 or 3 or 4 years from now, and just keep trying to get better every day. I mean, it's very cliche, but like, you have to see, like, pick something small to work on each day, and just have a good day, and just try and work on something small like that.
I love it, man. I love it. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, man. And I don't say this. I still remember, I bring stuff up, but I still remember texting your dad. I don't know where we were. I was somewhere. You were it was at a diner or restaurant, and you were younger, man. It's probably like 10 years ago. But like, you stopped, walked over to me, and introduced yourself and shook my hand just to say hi to me. And I was like, damn, man, like that dude's trained, bro. Like, he come from a good family, right? But the reason why I say that is because, it comes out in your personality. You're a good dude, man. Like, and when you see that, a lot of people, they discount that anymore, and I don't want to discount that. So I just want to, number one, thank you for sharing your journey. But listen, man, from the dugouts of Southampton, right, to UVA Wise, building your own clinic, you're proving that setbacks don't define us. Our response to them does, and you've said that, from overcoming adversity to inspiring the next generation. You've shown us what it means to keep swinging no matter the count, man. So bro, like I really appreciate this. You know, hope, and we're gonna have you back on when you make it to the next level. Okay, and I don't want you to forget about little old Tony here. All right,
no chance. We're doing awesome things here.
So
awesome.
when you are in the pro level, I don't care, man. Like I want you to be like, hey, I got to go do another podcast with Tony and talk about that level. All right, 100%. Is that deal?
But let me know. Let me know. I'll be here.
But nah, man. Listen, I really appreciate it, man. I do. And look forward to having you back on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Fighting for Overtime is a Rise and React media production. If you're looking to start a podcast, if you're looking to get some direction, hit us up, let us know. We'll help you out there as well. Again, for everybody, enjoy your time, memories and moments, and keep fighting that fight. Continue to fight in overtime to make your kid have the best experience that they can have when it comes to playing youth sports.